Hello and welcome to level 13 of the Thoughts and Players podcast, the brand new gaming podcast with bold takes and no strings attached. I am here. My name is Jeremy, and I'm with two compadres. I have David.
What up?
And I have the Brody. I have Josh.
Oh, hello.
Big Beard Josh, as he's more formally known. And Corey's out taking care of the little newborn.
He's a daddy.
He is unlocked fatherhood.
With a beautiful baby.
Yep. Wishing him all the best, him and the wife and the little baby. But here's the thing though. Got to put some rules in place with this kid, not taking up a whole bunch of time, right?
True.
Unless this kid wants to contribute immediately to the podcast. Bonus level. He can be a guest on the bonus level. He can host a bonus level if he wants. I'm open to all these different types of things. So, but yeah, congratulations again, Corey and Lindsay, on your little baby boy. We're going to move on into the morning announcements. So, item number 1. It was revealed that Melina, Rain, and Rambo are the new DLC fighters for Mortal Kombat 11. And Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate, they've revealed that as well. And it's going to have a free next-gen upgrade as well, so you won't have to pay for it. You guys, do either of you really play Mortal Kombat even, really?
I haven't played. I did have Mortal Kombat X, and I did play it a lot when I bought it. I haven't played it since, though, but I appreciate the free next-gen upgrade, and I appreciate the Rain being introduced. I played a lot of Rain when Mortal Kombat 3.
Okay.
So
I haven't played much.
Yeah.
No. I think the last time I played was like on a 360, and that was at our cousin's house.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't played Mortal Kombat in a while, and I will admit that the Rambo character threw me for a loop. That's,
same.
Yeah.
Wasn't expecting that.
Was not expecting Rambo.
Because I'm not really a fighter guy, but Mortal Kombat has always had my attention. Like, I still have it for Sega.
Right. Yeah, it's in the zeitgeist of gaming, stays there. But Rambo is weird. I would think that a lot of people that would even play the Mortal Kombat games are probably not that familiar with Rambo as a character, really. But, yeah, there you go. News item number 2. Fall Guys Season 2 went live. Big game, super popular on Twitch and the streamings and all the whatnots. I've never played Fall Guys. I've resisted the hype. Not purposely, it's just never really caught my interest. So, but you guys, David, I know you played Fall Guys a little bit, right?
I have. I haven't played it for Season 2 or anything yet. I've been more invested in other games, as you guys know. So, it hasn't been played in a while.
Yeah.
But that's good. I like to see more stuff put into it.
I haven't played much. I usually watch streamers play because it's hilarious.
Yeah.
It makes you rage, and I tend to like that the most because I haven't experienced that in a long time.
Just a full-on good gamer rage?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Like, YouTube rage, like, that you want to just research and just look at constantly.
Yeah. I got you. Yeah.
Like, it's just hilarious. Like, one of the things that I was looking at was, like, one of the streamers that I was watching, he was mentioning that he didn't like Season 2 just because of, like, it wasn't as many maps as he pretty much, like, thought.
Okay. Yeah.
But it was, like, overall, like, the new maps is a little more tougher.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah. Yeah. I know that Corey's been playing the crap out of Fall Guys.
This is his game.
So
Oh, yeah.
he doesn't have time right now, but I guess when he does, he'll probably go back to that, and he'll have a whole new season to hop into.
That's true.
Yeah. News item number 3. There have been reports that the Xbox Series X, which has been sent out to a lot of journalists, they apparently missed some, but it got sent out to a lot of journalists, and reports have been that it runs quiet, but it's hot. In fact, I did some research on this. There were a couple of claims made, one by Jeff, I believe it's Bacalar. I don't know. He's at Giant Bomb, though. He said that it ran hot to the touch but it was really quiet. And then there's another journalist, Ken Bogard, who's a French journalist, and he said it was, quote, hot enough to heat up a flat. Now, recently, VentureBeat, they did a test and found that the system actually ran cooler than the One X and the PS4 Pro. So I think this is what happens when you have a little bit of bias in your reporting, because PlayStation kind of owned the gen. And so now they're like, hey, this runs way too hot. But wait a minute, it runs cooler than some of the systems we already use right now. How they didn't have these, I guess they aren't going around measuring the exact temperatures of each of these consoles, but I would think that someplace like Digital Foundry probably has that on record. They do a bunch of technical tests and stuff. So
Right.
it's interesting.
It definitely is. Because, like, I was looking through, like, brief reports because it took me a little minute to find, but, like, they were saying it was only running hot because it's trying to cool down the system a lot quicker.
Okay.
But this could also be another 360 thing if not done correctly.
Yeah, there's concern that because the games are running last gen games essentially, because there's no Series X games out technically, so
Right.
that how much hotter would it get when it's running those next gen games, or if those next gen games are optimized to take advantage of the system and they don't make it run as hot.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
It's definitely something to keep an eye on, because when I hear about that, remember we had our Xbox debate. One of the major hits on the 360 was the Red Ring of Death. So they can't have something similar to that happening.
Yeah, because I feel like if y'all did the re-ranking and the Xbox Series X is lower or around the same, it'll probably be 1-2 blank 360X or however that's going to be.
Well, the Series X is already better than the Xbox One.
Yes.
Hasn't even come out yet. Already better than it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's see. Let's keep the conversation on next-gen consoles for a little bit. With news item number 4, PlayStation trophies are being restructured and changed. Let's see. Based on what I read, I think they're redoing the distribution of points. So it's like a certain point range for bronze, certain point range for silver, gold, platinum, et cetera, et cetera. I believe platinum has to be 999 points or higher in order to get a platinum. So they're changing that, and the way they look graphically as well. PlayStation trophies, it's cool that they're tinkering with them. They've never been as good as Xbox achievements. And so I have really not a lot of interest. I don't actually play PS4 games for trophies like I play Xbox games for achievements. It's just never hooked me the same, so I have less interest in it, but I don't know.
That's true. Because, like, even when we both had a PS3 at the same time, never really cared for the trophies.
Yeah.
Like, they were similar to Xbox, but it felt like Xbox held more weight because it's like when you look at your gamer score, you're like,
Yeah.
now they know I play a lot of games.
Yeah.
Right. Like I had a PS3. I didn't have too many games for it, but like the trophy system has never interested me. Even at one small point on Xbox, like I was going for those achievements. So it's a huge difference in them.
Yeah. Let's move on to news item number 5, which I find hilarious. And that is the PS5 will ship with, based upon leaks, reportedly 664 gigabytes of usable storage when you take in how the hard drive storage is formatted and then compensating for the operating system that's put on top of that. And then they have a game, I forgot which one is being included in it and packaged in with it. But 664 is not much more than 500, which has been the struggle this last generation in regards to storage space, and that's going to continue to be an issue. I think that's one we hoped would be resolved, is that storage space would be less of an issue next gen. It seems like it's going to continue to be an issue because, I mean, it's not technically, but this is a 500 gigabyte model of a PS5. Like, this is what this is.
Yeah, after you factor in the software updates for the system.
And the games.
Yep.
I mean, I didn't count the games because that's like, 3 games now?
That's
So
3.
far.
It's calculated as being 3 Red Dead Redemption 2s.
I was thinking like 3 Call of Duty games, maybe 2, depending on, because they have very big updates.
Yeah.
It's absurd.
Yes,
Absurd.
I'm proud. Yeah.
But like, it's not an issue because you can just buy an external for more money, right?
Right.
That's true.
They're copying. I don't know. Maybe they had a meeting with Tim Cook and said, "Hey, you guys can sell people dongles and attachments, and that'll make them spend more money on this stuff." So, but I think even with the 1 terabyte of the Series X, I believe usable is somewhere around 800 and something gigabytes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that 800 gigabytes is still a lot more than what we're dealing with right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think they're just taking the Apple route where it's like, you can just, how about you buy separate stuff
I mean,
just to increase the storage?
I'm not sure, because even Xbox has come up with an external solution. Those expansion cards.
Yeah.
And right now they have it with Seagate, but other people are going to be able to make them. So I'd imagine it's only a matter of time before maybe a retail discount brand like Best Buy has their Insignia line, that they come out with one, or maybe you have someone else come out with a different one that has some optimization, and you'll have some price competition there. That'll eventually drive the price of those down.
You know, it'd be sweet
Right.
if they actually had the systems where you can actually put your own solid state in and just upgrade it yourself.
I mean, you can technically do that, avoids your warranty.
True.
Maybe they should allow you to do that without voiding your warranty.
Bingo.
Yeah, that'll solve problems. Let's see here. News item number 6. We're staying with Sony for a second. And Sony lists the top, or not top, they list the 10 PS4 games that will not run on the PS5. Now, I went and got this list because I'm like, man, what is it going to be? And here are the 10 games. The first is DWVR. Now, it actually is an acronym for something, and I care so little, I did not search what the acronym actually stood for. The next one is Afro Samurai 2, Revenge of Kuma, Volume 1. 7 words in
Never
that
heard
game,
of
too, right? TT Isle of Man, Ride on the Edge. Just Deal With It. Shadow Complex, Remastered. Robinson, The Journey. We Sing. Here's one we've all probably played. Hitman Go, Definitive Edition.
Is that a mobile game?
It was a mobile game that was adopted for console. Was that a stab in the dark? You
Yes.
just guessed that? Good going.
Nice.
Shadwin, and the last being the venerable Joe's Diner. Guys, are any of these games you're going to miss not being able to play on the PS5?
No, but I guess the ones who do and don't get to play with it on the PS5 are just gonna have to deal with it.
I'm sure you made Corey proud.
I hope so.
I'm sure you made him proud. Yeah, they're gonna have, but yeah, they'll have to just deal with it. I'm sure those people out there that were just hoping Joe's Diner was on PS5 are very disappointed.
Or Afro Samurai.
Or Afro Samurai, yeah, very, very relevant. So there we go.
Is that are those PS3 games?
No, all PS4 games. You know.
I do have a question. I don't know if you'll know. So the PS5 is supposed to be backwards compatible with PS4 games.
Mm-hmm.
So why is it that these 10 are not compatible? Are they made differently or something?
So what I was reading is that there's certain compatibility aspects of the game that need to be patched or developed or coded for.
Okay.
And those games currently don't have them. I read a report that some of them are going to be updated in order to work on the PS5, so the list might become shorter than 10.
Okay.
But that's kind of like the background behind it, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
You did have the answer. Thank you.
Yeah, because I think in the last 2 days they cut down the list by 2.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, from what I read, it was like 2 or 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But there you go. Item number 7, Amazon's Crucible. Hopefully you guys remember us talking about that game if you listened to our previous podcast episodes. They're shutting down in November, just months after release and unreleasing. Guys, what happened with Amazon's Crucible?
I think they realized that they shouldn't be here.
What I saw is that they're just moving them to WoW.
See, I think this is what Amazon's doing is what I anticipate Google will do fairly soon with Stadia, which is realize, this is something that we just can't throw money at to fix. We had to actually have real expertise and knowledge and plan in place, and we failed at that. So we're just going to go ahead and pick up our lunchbox and go home.
Yeah, that's exactly what it feels like.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just feel like they could do that technically if they would throw money at the right people.
That's true.
Yeah. And actually, like, work on some really interesting original concepts.
Right.
Instead of just trying to create another BR clone. Yeah.
Like, start at a thing that will grab everybody's attention. Get them hooked to a game.
Yeah.
Then go from there.
Yeah. And build your culture and build your brand and everything from there. Yeah. And then that leads us to news item number 8. Bugsnax for PS5 is being confirmed as a launch title. I don't know if you guys remember Snacks. I'm sorry, I added a TCH to that. But it was the game where you ate something and you turned into the thing that it was. It had this at the PS5. Yeah. It looked like an interesting game.
Yeah.
It was an interesting game that I immediately forgot about.
Yeah.
But it's being confirmed as a launch title. So another launch game for PS5.
It just looks like another version of Little Big Planet. Or whatever is that game that we was playing that looked the character was a sock puppet.
That's right.
Yeah, that's Little Big Planet. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, Little Big Planet, whatever the things is, Adventure, that's supposed to be a launch title as well, if I'm correct.
I believe so. Maybe.
Cool.
I mean, you are most of the time, so.
I'm probably wrong on that one then. All right, that brings us to the end of the morning announcements. We are going to move on to our next segment, the Roundtable, where we talk about the one news item or topic that we want to pay particular attention to. And that being that AMD held their, quote, Where Gaming Begins VOD event. That's right. We don't forget about the PC gamers and the PC master race. We're all a part of it in some way. So I took some notes here because there was a whole bunch of stuff going down. Dr. Lisa Su, who was the president and CEO, announced the Zen 3 Ryzen 5000 chips. If you're like, wait, you must mean 4000. No, they skipped 4000. So
Not
it's
relevant.
5000 chips.
Not relevant.
The 4000s, I believe, are mobile specific. So don't at me.
Okay.
And AMD is touting that the Zen 3 chips, they're going to have market-leading single-threaded performance, which means they're aiming right at Intel in that regard. They're going to have, it has an overall 19% uplift in IPC, which is instruction per cycle throughput, and it's combined with their 7-nanometer process, ringing out 4.9 gigahertz of boost. They can't quite hit Intel's 5 gigs, but they're getting close. 4.9 with their Ryzen 5000 Vermeer chips. So they announced the 5600X, 5800X, and the 5900X. 5600X is their 6-core, 12-thread. It has a boost of 4.6, and it has a resting of 3.7 gigahertz, 35 megabyte cache, and has a 65 watt TDP. And that is going for $299. So $300 gets you a nice 6-core 12-thread. Next, you have the 5800X. That's their 8 cores usually. So if you think about like 1800X, 2800X, 3800X, 5800X, all 8-core 12 threads, or 8-core 16 threads, I'm sorry. That's 3.8 gigs, and then that boosts up and tops out at 4.7, 36 megabyte cache, 105 watt TDP. And then you have the 5900X, 12-core, 24-thread, 3.7 to 4.8 gigahertz, 70 megabyte cache, and 105 watts TDP, or P, which is incredible. I mean, because right now I have, one of my main rigs is running an older Haswell E5820K, and that, I believe, has a higher TDP than the 5900X, and that's a 6-core 12-thread. So you're telling me I can get 12 cores, 224 threads for 40, 50 watts less? I mean, impressive.
That is.
And that's coming out at 549. So yeah, and they're all going to launch November 5th. So they're not too far away.
There's also one more.
Which one?
5950. That was the last one.
Okay. Yeah.
I just put the GOAT. That's literally how they were saying too many things.
Okay. So get the 5950.
Yes.
Yeah, like
Because that one is, I think that one is 2 times better than I think the Ryzen 9 or what it was.
like the
last
3900X.
Mhm.
Okay, I got you. Yeah. Now the pricing again, we're going 299, 449, and then 549. They are a little bit more than Intel chips now, but they believe they're worth it. They're beating or meeting Intel in single-threaded performance, and they are already blowing them away in energy efficiency as well as multi-threaded performance. This is dope.
Oh, like,
I saw this and I was excited.
I feel like a little kid again.
Yeah,
This is up there with the NVIDIA launch when you
Yeah.
was watching the dev stream.
yeah.
And the fact that you can do
With
it
the RTX 3000s.
Oh my
yeah,
God.
yeah. I mean, you got the RTX 3000s. You got these new Ryzen chips. Good lord.
I was say there's some revolutionary stuff going on.
Oh yeah, and like crazy high quality PC gaming is becoming more affordable.
What's funny is that they did all of this after PS5 and Xbox Series X launched their prices. Like,
Yes.
they did it right after.
Yeah.
So it's like, you want that and reserve it. Well, here you go. This is something cheaper that will make your PC that much better.
Right. Yeah. And like it's like all those like the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, they're all using Zen 2 chip architecture. So if you want the latest and greatest, you go PC,
Like
which has
what-
usually always been the case.
Yeah, since they're more interchangeable with the parts,
Yeah.
which is huge.
But you're just keeping up with whatever that technological change is, right? You're talking
Right.
about console series or console generations changing every 5, 6, 7 years.
Yep.
I mean, by that time, you could have another 2, 3 iterations on this chipset.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Supposedly, the new game systems, Xbox Series X, PS5, is like 3 years behind the real PCs or something like that. Or
Okay.
Like 3 series.
Because they're
behind.
actually using Zen 2 Plus, right?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah.
What stood out to me, like for the most of this AMD conference, was that they said from the last series to this series, frames per second increased by 26%.
On an average of 26%. Yep.
And I was looking, I was like, I want one.
Right. Because right now you have a 2600, right?
I have a 2700, the Ryzen 5. I
Okay.
believe.
Yeah.
So like, I might as well just get the new Ryzen 5.
Because you were thinking about getting a 3600, right?
Yes.
And then you're like, okay, well, I'll just get a 5600X.
Might as well.
Might as well.
Like
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
just take my money.
And they're compatible. They're compatible with both B400 and B500 motherboards. So
I
if you
have
have
no
a
idea.
if you have a B400 like a B450, which I believe yours is,
Mm-hmm.
you can just drop it right in there.
Just take my money.
Yeah.
That
Good.
literally.
You don't have to buy a new motherboard. It's great stuff. It's absolutely fantastic stuff. So good job, AMD. You're rocking it, man. You're kicking it. So that leads us to the end of the roundtable. We are going to transition to our next segment, What You Playing, where we talk about the games we are playing. Now, who would like to go first, detailing what games they are playing?
I don't mind going first. I'm
Okay.
the new guy.
Okay.
All right, let's hear
Okay.
it.
Lined up. Hit us up, new guy.
So, lately I've been playing Apex Legends. So,
Okay.
Battle Royale game. 60 people drop in, 3-man teams. That's just like my thing. Like I'm a first-person shooter type player. So like I gravitate towards like Battle Royales. I play Call of Duty a little bit, but like Apex Legends has been my like go-to lately. Well, for a while now. So it's like I like playing it. Usually I play ranked. I usually play with a couple friends.
Best way to do it. Oh God.
Yeah, because like I think one season I actually soloed all the way up to Diamond when actually it was actually Diamond and Predator as the two highest. This was one of the earlier series. Since then, no, because like playing with random people on your team completely sucks because like I play differently. I like to play strategically. Like it's more about position. You take the higher position. You can have decent to bad aim. But, like, if you have better position than somebody else that has better aim, you're always going to win. and that's usually how I play. But like I haven't played as much as season 6, and it's like what maybe like 2 weeks left of this season before season 7, and they're already handing like another character and a new map.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I'm just
Sweet.
excited.
Yeah. Cool. All right, Apex Legends expert.
Close.
Close.
Has the crossplay affected the gameplay at all for you?
It seems like at times it's a little longer wait times, but like it queues up a little bit faster. It just seems like it's a lot of the servers has been pinging a lot more,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's probably because of the crossplay. So it's like if they do keep the crossplay, it's probably a little better to play on PC or a new game console.
Yeah, I think just they have more bugs to work out to get it going,
Mm-hmm.
have it more efficient.
Yeah, they definitely have a few little bugs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now you've had, because you have the Xbox One Elite, right?
Yes.
So you have the only Xbox of this gen that actually has an SSD in it.
Mm-hmm.
So you've had less issues as far as lagging with load times than I guess someone that's rocking like a 1S or something like that.
Yeah, I haven't had that many problems.
Okay.
Like and I haven't, and that's still like technically an older series Xbox.
Right.
So, I just lately, like if I'm using a Wi-Fi connection, then that's when I see a lot of problems. But like if I have it hardwired to a landline, I'm straight.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right. David, what games you been playing?
I've also been playing Apex, and I really like a lot of the changes because I haven't been playing it lately. So a lot of the changes, like the armor, all of it's the upgrade stuff now, and there's like a buying system in game, and the crossplay is great because I have friends on like Xbox. I get to play with them finally. Overall, Apex, I'll be playing it more often again, and I'm happy about it. And then of course, Dead by Daylight, gotta keep playing that. They kind of have a battle pass thing. Theirs just ended. They have another one coming in soon. And the Overwatch, I get mad, I'm not gonna lie, but I can't get away from it. I don't know what it is. You guys, you have those games, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yep.
But I've also been playing a new game, Spellbreak. It's a battle royale, but instead of like guns and stuff, you just have these gauntlets that have powers. Like ice and fire, for example, and you can have 2 different ones, and you just fight with the magic powers and stuff. I think it's really awesome. I like the art style of it. It is a free game. I think it's on every console and PC like that. So, I think check that out.
Is it? So I've seen people play Spellbreak. Is it a different version of Rim Royale?
That I do not know.
Okay.
Because
I know
played that.
they use magic in both of them.
Okay.
I used to watch like Stone Mountain play Rim Royale.
Okay, yeah, I haven't seen any gameplay for that one, so I do not know. But it's fun.
Yeah.
It looks fun.
Yeah, I've only had it for 3 or 4 days, and I've put like 4 or 5 hours into it.
Nice.
So it's good. What about you, Jeremy?
So I've been playing a good bit of games. One of the games I don't have on my list here is Madden 21. I tried playing on my PS4, and it doesn't load.
You actually like that game?
No.
Okay.
But I try to stay up and current on it, so that way I just know what's going on, and I'm going to try to make sure that I find some way to play it to test out the next gen without hopefully having to give them money. So that's another thing I'm trying to do. But I've been playing that, like I was saying, the PS4. You guys check out our YouTube channel. You will see that I uploaded a 10-minute video of the game not loading. I didn't add any commentary to it. It's just 10 minutes of the game not loading. So do with that what you want. But the game doesn't load for over 10 minutes. And that was my second time trying it.
And does that count towards the time?
It does. If you're actually trying the game trial, it counts towards your game trial time. The game trying to load.
How much
But
time
not.
how much time do you have in that trial?
Now, in the trial, you usually have 10 hours. But guess what? I wouldn't be surprised if the game doesn't load for 10 hours. Because it didn't load for over 10 minutes after I tried it the third time. So besides that, I've been playing Ghost of Tsushima.
The transition that you just did is amazing.
Yeah. I've been playing Ghost of just trying to positive energy. So I've been playing Ghost of Tsushima. Love the game. We'll continue to play it. I also played and beat Mafia Definitive Edition.
I was watching gameplay on that, but I know we're going to talk about that a little later.
Yeah. It's
amazing. But Ghost of Tsushima, how far are you in that?
Yeah, I was gonna ask that.
no idea. No idea, really.
Okay.
Are you still on First Island?
I still have one of the... Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'm still very much in the first area. And here's the thing. I'm a bit more disciplined with the game, but I am very easily falling into the Red Dead Redemption 2 trick of just dicking around in the game and not accomplishing anything. So I have to make sure I stay disciplined, because it's like Red Dead Redemption 2, I probably put 50 hours into that game, and I haven't left the first area of the game. Like, not talking the tutorial, but like the first kind of camp area you set up. I'm not past that. And I've put dozens of hours into it.
Have you pet the fox yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's probably the most important piece.
Yeah.
One of them.
It's a wonderful game. And then, like I said, playing Mafia Definitive Edition. And then, last but not least, Corey was talking about Forager. And so I'm like, you know what? I went and got my Xbox Game Pass thing set up. Alert people. If you want Xbox Game Pass without paying full price for it, they're still doing the conversion thing. So you go online, you buy yourself 2 to 3 years worth of Xbox Live, and then you buy yourself a month of Xbox Game Pass for either $1 or $15, and it converts all your remaining time to Xbox Game Pass. So I have Xbox Game Pass for 2 years, only having to pay the equivalent of just 1 month because I bought 2 years of Xbox Live. If that makes any sense.
Where did you buy your year passes? Amazon?
Best Buy. I just bought a couple of digital codes, put them in, bloop, all done, and then I went and bought $15 for the Xbox Game Pass because I already did the dollar thing, and it was like, we're going to take this, we're going to convert it all, and you know when you buy the 1 year, they give you an extra month. So I've actually got like 2 years and 3 months.
I've literally been looking for like those Xbox Series, like digital codes.
They have like a 2 or 3 year one on Costco, but you got to be a Costco member, and I'm not.
Yeah, because I checked Walmart, I checked Amazon. Like, they didn't have the year ones.
Hit up Best Buy.
Okay.
Yep. So yes, and Forager is in Xbox Game Pass, so that's where I played it. Here's the thing. Corey thoroughly enjoyed this game. But this game is basically Terraria meets Don't Starve. And that's not to say it's bad. But I was so jaded by Terraria because I spent 40 hours in that game and did nothing. That I can't play any game even similar to it anymore. So I probably played Forager for about 2 or 3 hours. The mechanics in it all is fun. It's a fun game. It's a good game. I just can't get into it because Terraria stole that for me.
Right,
So,
you just have a really bad taste in your mouth.
yeah, just can't do it. Just can't do it. But that's it for what I've been playing. I believe that's it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break, and we will be back on the other side with more thoughts and players. This level of thoughts and players is brought to you by us. If you've been enjoying the podcast so far, please show your support and let us know by subscribing to the podcast, following us on the socials, and contributing to community surveys and questions around our community segments. Doing so will help the podcast grow, keep our content engaging, and most importantly, make sure your voice is heard. Thanks for tuning in, and now back to the show. And we are back with more thoughts and players. And we are moving on to our favorite segment, your favorite segment, hopefully. Was it worth it? And this is a segment where basically we talk about a game, could be, recent, that's usually preferred, but sometimes an older game, and we assess, was the game worth it based on the gameplay, the dollar amount, all that stuff. Was it worth it? And in today's level/episode, we're going to talk about the recent remake of a game and Mafia Definitive Edition. Developed by Hangar 13, I believe, and released and published by 2K. September 25th, 2020, this is the remake of the venerable 2002 release Mafia. So I'll be talking about it. I had a chance to play it on the PlayStation 4 because they didn't have it available for the Xbox when I went there to the place to see if they had it. So I got it for PS4. That's fine. It's a superior console this gen anyway. So I got the premium Mafia experience, okay? And I will say that this is a really, really good game. It stays very truthful to the original. It changes some story elements, but they aren't things that break out the overall themes that the movie, or not the movie, because it feels like a movie, but the game portrays and conveys throughout the playthrough. So let's first talk about, we can talk about graphics. Obviously, it's going to look way better than the original because the original came out like 18 years ago. Right. But it looks hella good even for today's standards.
Really?
It looks amazing.
It looks absolutely incredible. The way they were able to reimagine Lost Haven, or Lost Heaven, however they pronounce it differently in the game. I'm actually happy they kept that inconsistency. Mm-hmm. But anyway, yeah, the way they've rendered everything, there's way more people in it, things to do. If you look at the original, it's dead. No one's out there. There's a pedestrian maybe every once in a while because it's a city. We got to put some bodies on the street. Yep. But besides that, in this new one, completely reimagined. It looks lived in. It looks absolutely stunning. The character models look great. The voice acting in the game, it's a very interesting point I have, right? Which I'll probably put in the review too. The voice acting is really good, okay? I personally preferred the voice of Tommy Angelo in the original. And the reason why I do is because this Tommy Angelo sounds like a gangster. He sounds like a wise guy. You know, he has like this raspy voice, and you ask him, you know, like, hey, Tommy, what you doing? And he was like, hey, what you want to do? You want to do this? You want to do that? I don't know. You know, and maybe we could do this thing right there. I don't like that. The other Tommy Angelo sounds like he doesn't belong with wise guys. And I thought that was a great way, a great, I guess, part of his character. So he doesn't sound like he belongs. Mm-hmm. But the voice acting of Tommy Angelo in the new one is done extremely well. The voice acting of everyone else, Paulie, Sam, Don Salieri, Don Morello, they all sound fantastic. Talking about the gameplay. They don't have the roll that you could do in the original. You can't roll, which sucks because it actually feels like the way they set up the action shooting galleries in this game could actually really have used the roll mechanic. But it's not in this one like in the original, but they did bring over the cover system for Mafia 2 into this one. So you're able to take cover. So in that way, it kind of becomes a little bit of a stop and pop kind of, if you're thinking about maybe like the mechanics of a Gears of War or a Division, a little bit of that, but not crazy amount. Okay. The AI is smart enough to flank you, and so it keeps you on your toes. Some of the enemies, you know, they have different enemies that have different weapons. Some have shotguns, most have pistols, but some also have Molotovs, and those basically force you out of your position, right? So that's a way to keep you on your feet where you can't just camp and then just try to snipe and shoot out. Also with the shooting, the original had a very, very, like, you know, precise, you know, the crosshairs. Mm-hmm. And this one has a circular reticle, which makes your shooting less precise with the aiming, which I don't like because they already added a natural kind of sway to your person aiming. When Tommy Angelo's aiming a gun, he's not aiming it and it's just straight. Because, again, he's a driver. He's not a military dude. He doesn't have that experience, so he can't be, you know. So it's kind of like, well, if you're going to add that natural thing, then keep the crosshairs, or leave the reticle and then just let the aiming be a bit more, I guess, just less movement. So that way I can kind of calculate where I'm shooting. That reticle's already giving me an indication of what my spread is. So I already know I'm going to miss some shots anyway.
One thing that I noticed about the guns as well was, like, the Tommy gun wasn't as good as it was in the first one.
Correct.
It was the pistol. Pistol
Correct.
and the shotgun.
Correct.
Was a lot better.
And in the original, you could much better control the rate of fire of the Tommy gun. You could almost treat it like this game has a long rifle, but you could almost treat the Tommy gun in the original like a long rifle. You could really, you know, pace those shots so they're one at a time. And this one, they're going to be, even if you touch a little bit, it's going to burst a couple of shots. And again, that whole accuracy kind of messes with it a little bit.
Yep.
Right. The driving in the first one isn't great. The driving in this one isn't great, but it's good. It's I don't have any issues with it. I saw in some reviews they were like the car handling in this is absolutely terrible. I'm like, oh, okay, so you haven't played a lot of games then.
Bingo. Haven't even played and then didn't play the first one.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
or the second one, I guess. I mean
1920s, 1930, 1940. What
Yeah.
do you expect?
Yeah.
It's not a NASCAR. It's not a Tesla. It's not a Lamborghini.
Right. I mean, they feel fine for what they need to be. The game allows you to skip drive the different mission locations. That's another really interesting thing about the game is they've been really faithful to the original. So it's not like a Grand Theft Auto or like one of these other open world games where you start some random place on a map and then you have to drive to another place and then drive to another place. You start a mission, the mission puts you in a car, you drive where you need to go, you do the mission's over, boom, it takes you to the next mission. Mm-hmm. There's no, okay, now drive here in order to get to the next mission. No, because it's working in chapters. So once you complete the mission, the chapter is done and it takes you to the next chapter.
Yep.
Which is good. It keeps the momentum of the game and the story.
A lot different than how The Godfather was, where you do a mission, you stop, and you can do other little side quests.
Yeah. So then that lends into the fact that they spent all that time making this great, beautiful city, and I don't really have a reason to like experience it or explore it within the story.
Correct.
I can do it in a free ride mode, but within the story, there's no reason for me to,
Yep.
which is.
But as you're like going around and doing everything, you're like, this is just amazing how
Yeah.
much better it looks.
Oh yeah, Chinatown looks absolutely incredible. All that stuff.
One of the things that I noticed the most was like like in the rain scenes, you can actually, or puddle scenes, or every time like you're walking down the alley, you have a puddle, you can actually see the lights from the puddle. Mm-hmm. Like, there's like
crazy detail.
Oh my God, it's
Crazy
so much
detail.
crazy detail.
Yeah. But yeah, guns sound great. Voice narration and everything, or voices and narration and stuff too, sounds great. The way they made the story. Sarah, Tommy's romantic interest and eventual wife, actually has more lines in this and than the original, which is good. That's actually one of the misses that this game kind of had for me. Is I would have liked more of Sarah in the story because she was a really well realized character in it. But they gave her more than they gave her in the original, so I can only yeah. It's a really good game. It's $40. So I had to combat with myself as well. Is this game worth $40? If you're going through a playthrough, this is going to be as long as the original. So you're looking at 11 to 13 hours. Is it worth it for $40? I would say yes. I would say it is worth that. If you can, it'll obviously become on sale some later time. But I believe it's worth the $40. But you can also get the definitive trilogy, which has the definitive edition of Mafia, as well as the definitive edition of Mafia 2, where they did some graphical enhancements, and then Mafia 3, where they basically did nothing, but they included all the DLC with it, and that's $60. So if you get it in that's a steal. But it'd have to be worth it to you if you're a fan of the Mafia series. For me, it is. Mafia 1 and Mafia 2 alone makes it worth it.
Yeah. I never really played 3, played a little bit of it, but 1 and 2, like solid.
Yeah.
Because 1 and 2 is relatively close to each other. And
one is a masterpiece.
Yes.
2 is very good.
Yes.
Very, very good.
Like, I would honestly say I'll play both of those before I play The Godfather.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, it'll be those two, Godfather, then possibly 3.
Yeah. See, I don't have a lot of experience with 3. I want to play it pretty soon. I know from a story element, it's on par with everything else in Mafia.
Correct.
The story might actually be better than Mafia 2's story, but still got to experience that.
Yeah, I'm with you. I haven't even experienced that.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know technically, though, it's a mess, which is why when I saw a Wired review making the argument that 3 could possibly be more valuable than the remake based on the fact that it had commentary upon race, I said, oh, but the game, though.
Right.
Like, the game has to be fun.
Right.
Mafia 1 is 11 or 13 hours of fun with a great story. Mafia 3 is 27 to 28 hours of mostly bloat with a great story. So those aren't really comparable. But Was it worth it? Yes. $40 by itself? Yes. $60 in the trilogy? Absolutely. No brainer. But that's it for Was It Worth It? You guys let me know if you've played it, if you've seen any gameplay of it, if you're ever interested, if what's going on with Mafia. Is it even something, got any hype about? I was super hyped for it. I was glad to play it. I'm super hyped for Empire of Sin that's coming out pretty soon. I'm going to try that as well. But that is it for Was It Worth It? We are going to move on to our next segment. No Good Reason. And in No Good Reason, we talk about terrible games that we love to play for no good reason. At least what we believe to be terrible. Now, we're aware of each other's games. Josh has got a bombshell over here, right? So I'm going to let you save that. I'm going to let that simmer.
Okay.
So I can take the lead on this, or if David, if you want to jump in with your game.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
I'm good.
All right, David, what
All
do you
right.
got for no good reason?
So my brother and I put a lot of time into this game and some of the other games of this series, and it is the Army Men Air Attack. So you're just, it's a game with those little green soldiers that don't move at all. Mm-hmm. In this particular one, Air Attack, you have helicopters, and there's just levels. You just go and terrorize the enemies. And this one, I think it's the.
Is it the Tan Boys?
The Tan, yeah, Tan. I couldn't think of the word Tan. Thank you. So yeah, you're trying to fight off the Tan army and everything like that. And the reviews on it got like 6 stars, 5 stars, stuff like that. And a lot of it was saying it needs more gameplay, it needs more balancing, this and that. But I was little. I just, my brother and I loved these games.
Just blowing up plastic guys.
Yeah. And in this one, there's 2 helicopters that you can be, and the way that the game says it is just still drilled in my head to this day, because it goes, Huey! And then I was like, Chinook. And I randomly get that in my head for no reason. I'm like, why? And at one point, I totally forgot about this game,
Right.
and for like a week, I was like, where is that from?
Right.
And finally remembered.
Yeah.
But I don't remember, any weird bugs or anything like that, but I've never heard anyone else play this game. No one's ever brought it up to me or anything like that.
For good reason. It sounds like it's a terrible game. But
yeah, it was.
Yeah.
But it has a lot of nostalgia, sounds like.
Yeah, I think it's good because of nostalgia effect. But yeah, the rating's not good.
Yeah.
It's So I guess we'll go to you now. Keep that simmering.
Yeah. Okay. So my game, not from a classic franchise like the Army Men franchise. In fact, it killed a studio, and that game is New Legends. New Legends, which was developed in 2002. I don't know if you guys realize I have a knack for liking games that kill development studios, like Kingdoms of Amalur, right? And now you got this one. 2002 was developed by basically a studio that comprised of a group of former LucasArts employees and was published by THQ. That's the publisher that also went out of money and was recently resurrected. So it helped contribute to the death of a development studio and a publisher.
There we go.
Splendid game.
2 for 2.
They say they come in 3s.
Right,
So you come in next.
right. Was also, I guess, a time killer because apparently this wasn't worth anyone's time. It's got a bunch of 6, 5, and 4s as far as ratings from the big boys, but they don't know what the hell they're talking about. They never do. I mean, they give Madden an 8 every year. What do they know? But New Legends takes place entirely in China. You play Sun Tzu. It's like this young fighter guy trying to free China and, the Sioux Kingdom. You use a bunch of different weapons like swords and guns, and you can pick up and arm yourself with different ones. I remember, this is maybe a nostalgia effect, of the game being this epic tale. Not exactly like something like a Jade Empire, because Jade Empire, I repeat, is a great game. But I remember it being this long, sweeping tale of you fighting against the enemy across various areas of China. But apparently the game was like 5 hours. So that's me misremembering a whole bunch. That makes it shorter than Bulletstorm, and I beat Bulletstorm in an afternoon. So yeah, I remember at one point your character gets their arm cut off, and they get a robotic arm where you're able to do stuff. But guess what? The robotic arm gave you no extra strength.
That's stupid.
So it was just a story element.
So it was just an arm.
Yep. It was just an arm. You get your arm cut off, they just gave you another arm.
You couldn't punch through doors or nothing?
Nope. It's not like Sekiro or anything like that. This was a Xbox exclusive, even though it doesn't say Xbox exclusive on the game case, because that's how proud they were of it.
I was just saying, you think you did say that, you know? Like,
Nope.
Hey, guys.
So guess what game is not going to be brought back in a remaster or remake for Xbox anytime soon?
What, this game?
It's going to be
Halo?
New Legends.
Oh, okay.
Well, hopefully they can come out with a Halo.
Maybe.
Hey, Xbox, great move at putting Halo on your box for your packaging for your system and having it be a year out. I understand it's your mascot, but maybe lean a little bit more into Hellblade.
I triggered him, I'm sorry.
You know,
Hashtag marketing.
hashtag marketing or hashtag whatever. I'm not going to get into it. Anyway, that is the game that I like for no good reason, because the game's not that great. The environments weren't that great or interesting. The story, look, for whoever, 2002, so we're talking about I was maybe 12 or something.
It's a long time ago.
It's a bomb-ass story to me. You know what I'm saying? But apparently it wasn't doing the thing. So
There was a lot of games that came out in 2002 that we just freaking loved.
oh yeah.
For no good reason.
Oh yeah.
I was interested by army men. I mean, how simple, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I understand that. And I'd love to eventually have where we have a conversation about the misremembrance of the gaming journalist industry in regards to most games in those past generations had terrible games, just the worst. Mm-hmm. Because back then, being a AA or single A developer was a viable thing, right? So they just pooped out games. Yeah, but that's it for New Legends. Josh, you have your game. What is your game that you played for no good reason?
So, this one's going to be a hot take.
Okay.
Very hot take.
It's a bold take.
Very hot and bold take.
Because we have no strings attached. What is it?
Hey, bingo. It's Jet Set Radio.
Jet Set Radio.
We're going to keep everything in the year of 2002.
Okay.
This came out February 22nd, 2002.
Okay.
A very cold winter.
Yep.
But I didn't play this until the summer, a year later.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Now, why is that?
Was not interested in the game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What about it didn't interest you?
Everything.
Yeah.
The fact that you just skate around and just, to me, it was like a cartoon off version of Tony Hawk, Pro Skater. And all you did was just skate around and just spray graffiti.
Right.
Was no interest until there was no games to play. And then, Jet Set Radio. Let me play this.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's the only time it interested me. Is when I was bored.
So you're telling me that the classic Jet Set Radio was played by you only because you were bored?
I liked the rating 6.6 that I saw.
Okay.
It feels like that was around what this game should be.
Okay. Now, when you were done with the game, were you like, that was a very enjoyable, valuable experience?
I was like, then I probably won't play it again.
Okay.
It was okay. It wasn't life-changing
Right.
at all.
Okay. Okay. We hear you. We hear you on Jet Set Radio. Yeah.
Did I have fun playing it at the time? Yes. Do I remember everything? No.
So it wasn't really something that you wanted to play while playing it. It wasn't anything memorable about it, and you didn't come away from it richer from the experience.
See, I like how y'all talk about nostalgia.
Yeah.
There was no nostalgia here for me.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
But that's my hot, bold take.
Hot
for the
bold
day.
take. That is a hot and bold take.
And I liked it for no good reason at the time.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. I mean, here's the thing. I mean, the people may feel a certain way about that. I don't know if Corey's going to feel a certain way about that. That seems like a game he would possibly think is great for some weird reason.
I mean, it has a cult following for some reason.
Yeah, it does. I mean, really stupid things have cult followings.
That is also true.
Like The Room? Is that the name of it?
Might want to be a little bit careful where you're going, right?
I mean, I've watched it, and I can see why.
Exactly. There you go.
I'm not downing them.
There you go.
But it's a terrible movie.
There you go.
But it's.
I mean, you
it's
cannot follow Jet Set Radio with The Room with any kind of negative room talk because we will get killed by the internet.
I mean, right now it's 2 for 2. We need a 3.
Yeah. Well, look, I'll save it for another level. But believe me, I've got a hot take on Echo the Dolphin. All right, I got a hot, steamy take on that.
Okay, we need to cut this now. It's
Yeah.
gonna get bad.
Well, it's gonna get real bad when we talk about Echo. That's for sure. That's no good reason. And then we're gonna move on to another segment. This nice little game segment that Corey created. Again, a shout out to him and his family. And in honor of Corey, I'm gonna take control of this one because I usually hate everything he does.
Interesting.
So I'll take this one.
I actually caught the sense from listening to the podcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like an enjoyable hate.
Ah, yeah. Okay. That's what you got from it.
Yes.
This next segment is called "What's the Meta?" Where basically we have these finding games, these game reviews on Metacritic, and we put them out there, let the guys try to guess and see if they got the game right based on the reviews. And they're usually user reviews. So I went ahead and found a couple of games. We got 2. Each one is going to have 4 different reviews, one more revealing of the game than the previous.
Okay.
So it'll be probably 2 guesses. Yeah, 2 guesses each for you guys. Are you ready?
Ready.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do this.
So this is game number 1. This review was wrote by Ergonomico T2000 and gave this game a 4. Quote, "This game could be amazing, but many nonsense dialogues, weak combat mechanics, and a terrible camera make it look like a rushed product. To be honest, you could overlook the first issues, but the camera is really, really bad. Worse than Demon Souls, just to be clear. I really hope they do something about it."
Do you know when Demon Souls came out?
No.
That was gonna be my reference point. I got nothing right now.
Nothing?
Do you know when Demon Souls came out?
When it came out,
Yeah.
no idea.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to wait to hear another one.
Yep.
All right. This is from Sohail03. They gave it a 3. "I've waited a long time for this game, but after 3 hours of playing it, I simply removed it. Why? The combat system is awful, and the storytelling is not catchy at all. This just feels like a game from 6 years ago. In its best, it is just another Assassin's Creed. The environment is beautiful, though."
Dishonored?
No.
What's the name of that game? I might need to hear another one.
Okay. This review is from Denio-san. Gave it a 5. Quote, "What a fantastic game this is. From the visuals, the gameplay, right the way through to the music. Everything about this game makes you care about the characters you come across. What a fantastic job, Sucker Punch." I understand that the written review does not match the number, but I can't control that.
See, the problem is I know the Sucker Punch is the giveaway, but I don't know still. What did they make?
Is Fallout a part of that series? Of Sucker Punch?
No. Got last clue here.
I hate this segment.
All right. This review, written by Nevermind CV, they gave it a 7. Quote, a good game. Pretty fun. It's an easy Sekiro. It has amazing visuals and graphics. On the other hand, the game is kind of generic and the story is wacky and not great. It's not a bad game, but I was expecting a little bit more. They say it's an easy Sekiro.
I don't know that word.
The game Sekiro. Something die twice.
No.
Any guesses? Any last guesses? Any last guesses? Okay.
Dark Souls.
No. The game is Ghost of Tsushima.
Wow. I was thinking something old. And
No.
it's funny because I was like, it's not Ghost.
I haven't played that game, but how dare you guys? What?
That's how they feel, man.
You can't. Yeah. The ending was the second one.
Yep.
The last one. Okay.
You guys can make it up. Somebody can still win. We have one game left here.
Okay.
That's true.
Okay? All right. So this review is from John V, 1998. He gave this game a 1.
Whoa.
Quote, garbage game made by a garbage company. Terrible servers, weapon balancing, etc. The gameplay is boring, repetitive, and stale, and only obtains a player base due to the fact that it's a trendy, free game.
Apex Legends.
Yeah, I was gonna say Warzone.
Apex Legends, you got it.
Oh damn!
First one.
Nice.
There you go.
I like how we both went right there, though.
Yeah.
There you go.
It was either one of those two. Because
Yep.
literally that's all you hear about.
Yeah.
Literally.
That's cool. I mean, the next one probably would have been less valuable because the review is literally trash game. The dev don't understand or play the game. Servers are almost non-existent. Hit register doesn't even exist.
I probably would have got it there too.
Okay. I have no familiarity with that. So
But the devs have been playing. Some of the devs actually do play the game, but then
Okay.
some actually pay attention to the commentary. But mainly just the pro players,
yeah.
and some people of higher regard. But other than that, that's where they get all of their feedback from.
Okay. Well, what's the meta? The rookie Josh takes it.
Yeah. Well done. Well done.
Well done.
There we go.
It's very weird how you got that off the first one, but it is what it is. That leads us to our final thoughts. We give one last thought for each person. It can be anything related or not related to the episode. Who would like to start us off with their final thought?
I will.
All right, David. What is your final thought?
My final thought is I'm gonna start with a question. Okay. So you hear the word consequence. Where do you go with that word?
Spankings.
Right. And it's like it has a negative aura to it.
Ah,
in
yeah,
what
I
you
see where
would
you're
feel.
going. Yeah.
But like, I was thinking, consequence is a case of anything. You know, I think it doesn't deserve the negative aura that it has been given, because the consequence of me agreeing to go with this podcast and put the time and effort into it has developed into a consequence of being closer with you and Corey and having this amazing thing to do and just being able to enjoy it. So I think we need to think of consequence in a positive manner as well. And that's my final thought.
It's beautiful.
Thank you.
I like to speak.
That is poetry.
Mm-hmm.
He's always like, prolific and prophetic.
He's a level-headed one of the group.
Okay. This feels like it'll probably be your last time here.
Oh, thank you.
Based upon that remark alone. I'd have to talk with the people and like the people that run this stuff. I don't run it. I don't control anything.
Gotcha.
But I feel like they feel like you know. They were really high on you when you just won the last segment.
Yeah.
And now I'm getting in my ear that they really had a drastic change of heart.
2 minutes.
I mean, I was like at a 7 all day. Went down with no good reason. Went back up with winning What's the Meta.
Right.
Went back down again. I think I'm right like at a 1.5 out
Right.
of 10 right now.
Right.
I'm doing good.
So your final thought is pretty much for all the marbles here.
Okay.
So what is your final thought?
My final thought is like two-parted,
Okay.
right? The first one is just talking to the people, is just letting them know to analyze what they want to do with where they want to go with their gaming career. One, you have the new NVIDIA stuff. You also have the new AMD stuff that we just talked about in this podcast. But then you also have the new Xbox Series consoles and the new Sony PlayStation console. So it's like weigh your decisions on how you want to like elevate your gaming career depending on the move and the amount of money that you have.
Mm-hmm.
Because either way that you go, it's a liable decision. One will last longer, but one you'll have to both you'll have to constantly upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like it's just weighing your options in a more beneficial way. Like if you only can afford gaming consoles, do it, because those are practically like lower end PCs, but they're still high performing computer game systems that are still better than the previous series.
Mm-hmm.
But then if you have enough money to upgrade your system with an NVIDIA graphics card and a new processor, that'll last you a few years at least.
Right.
But then the last take is just thanking you gentlemen for letting me be on this podcast, give some of my hot takes and some of my opinions, and I greatly appreciate it.
Greatly
It was good,
appreciate
man.
you being here.
I like you. It was
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. My final thought is that, what am I thinking? My final thought is that, look, if you want respect in life, right, you have to make sure that you are doing things, operating in a way that is worthy of someone's respect. There's an obvious bare minimum of respect you give to another human being, but you are responsible for making sure that respect is elevated to a higher place, wherever it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
How someone deems that is based on personal bias, right?
Well, of course.
It's basically, it might be a job or an occupation, a certain status, financial, social, economic status, right? For me, it's butts, right? If an individual has a good butt, I respect them more, and that's something that's my final thought that I get out there.
No wonder why I'm respected so much.
Yep, yep. And guys, if you got good butts out there, we respect you too, or at least I do. That's going to be the end of level 13 of the Thoughts and Players podcast. Look, it could be, final thought can be anything.
That is very true.
It can be anything. And, I was panicking a little, and the first thing that popped in my head was butts. I'm sorry. If you like what you heard, including that last part, definitely, please subscribe to the podcast on your preferred podcast service. We are on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Stitcher, wherever else they do stuff like that at. We're there too.
All the things.
All the things.
Everything.
You can like the podcast on Facebook at facebook.com/Thoughts and Players, all one word, or on Instagram at thoughts.players, not thoughts.players, thoughts.players.
This was definitely going to go somewhere else.
As well, it will definitely take you someplace else. You may not want to go, or you may want to go. I don't judge you. Guess what? A lot of respectable people in the thoughts community.
Both.
In both, sure, both. We're also on YouTube. Look us up there. But that is it for us. On behalf of everyone, thanks for listening and tuning in, and we will catch you on the next level.